Whatever side you was, no one could really call it. You know, it was going to be a firefight.
No matter what side you're on, one thing's for sure. This fight was never going to be technical chess. It's a firefight, a brutal showdown where only one man walks out with his pride intact. Harlem Eubank has added fuel to the already raging flames with a fiery takedown of the entire build-up, calling out,
Conor wins this fight. You've mentioned before that you want to fight him next, is that right?
I'm ready to go. You know, my uncle called me this morning asking me if I was ready. I told him, you know, I'm good to go. So.
The madness of pre-fight friendliness. In particular, he took aim at Conor Benn's move to phone Chris Eubank Jr. before the bout, labeling it desperate and completely out of order. For Harlem, there's no room for pleasantries when war is looming. Only fists, grit, and the will to survive. But that was only the beginning. Harlem dropped another bombshell, revealing that Chris Eubank Sr. called him on the morning of the fight to ask if he was ready to step in and face Conor Benn. According to Harlem, the call came out of nowhere and was nothing short of chaotic.
Conor walked into the room, so he walked onto camera. And I said, listen, Conor, I mean, what's going on with Krista? I mean, you know, him coming down to 157, that doesn't even make any sense. Please don't do this. He said, I don't know about that. I said I'd fight him at any weight. I said I'd fight him at 160. That's what Conor said.
Eubank Sr. labeled the fight a disgrace and made it clear that if Chris Jr. couldn't carry the family torch, Harlem might have to. It was a shocking glimpse into just how divided the Eubank camp really is, with last-minute replacement talks and behind-the-scenes turmoil threatening to overshadow the main event. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Sr. didn't hold back when appearing on TalkSport with Simon Jordan. He tore into his own son's decisions, particularly the notorious 157-pound catchweight.
Your son doesn't want to listen to you.
And so he has to feel. But that's it. He has to feel. If you won't listen, then life will teach you what.
Debacle. In a blistering rant, he accused Chris Jr. of being dragged into a dangerous and humiliating setup, one even Conor Benn was prepared to avoid. According to Sr., Benn was ready to fight at 160, but Jr. inexplicably accepted a suicidal weight cut. Eubank Sr. called it a pathetic display of poor judgment and warned that it could come back to haunt him. The criticism didn't end there. Eubank Sr. stated clearly that his son no longer
going to give the advantage to Conor, because if he loses to Conor, as far as he's concerned, he's done. It won't happen. So trust me, if he's struggling, the next morning I'm like, I'll pay the fine, because nobody's going to do anything.
Longer listens to him, and that, if that's the case, the only teacher left is life itself. In his eyes, Chris Jr. must face the consequences of his own choices, and the ring will be the harsh classroom where lessons are delivered with pain. On the flip side, Johnny Nelson took a more supportive but equally intense stance. He acknowledged that this fight is a make-or-break moment for Chris Eubank Jr. A loss could spell the end of his career. But Nelson, despite the chaos, remained
more dangerous the first half of the fight. Conor has to create a pace that suits him. Now, Conor will be naturally faster. I don't know how he'll go for strength, but he'll be naturally faster.
Remains in Jr.'s corner, ready to back him through thick and thin. As the pressure mounts, one truth becomes clear. The stakes are sky high, and failure is not an option. Johnny Nelson drops a bombshell while breaking down the tactical war looming between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. He warns that Eubank Jr. will be at his most dangerous in the first half of the fight, when his power and explosiveness are at their peak. For Benn, the key will be setting.
It's about power. It's not just about endurance. It really is the full spectrum. He's got to have strength, he's got to have power, he's got to have capacity and ability to work through those 36 rounds, and certainly in the championship.
A tempo that suits his strengths. While Conor may not have the same raw power, Nelson points to his natural speed and sharpness as vital weapons. If Benn can control the pace and avoid early damage, he could tilt the momentum in his favor. But that's the burning question. Can Conor Benn's speed and timing withstand the explosive pressure Eubank Jr. is sure to bring? Dan Lawrence follows up with another massive warning. This isn't just another fight for Chris Eubank Jr., it's a full-scale war that will test every element of his boxing DNA. Lawrence stresses that Eubank...
A long time coming, over 2 years we've waited, so I feel like the date's coming closer and closer to us. But all that time he's been working on different aspects of his game, and I think he's a lot more improved now than he was 12 months ago. So, it's going to be a tough fight because both Conor and Chris Eubank, as we all know the history of the fathers, there's a lot of pride there between both of them. So you're going to expect them both to come in tremendous condition.
Eubank will need more than just punching power to survive. This is about mental strength, stamina, and resilience across a grueling 12-round battle. According to Lawrence, the championship rounds will be the true test, and Benn won't let up. If Eubank Jr. isn't fully prepared to push through the storm, he risks crumbling under pressure. This fight will demand everything he's got. Meanwhile, Tony Sims adds even more heat to the fire, revealing that this clash has been simmering for over 2 years behind the scenes. While the public waited, Conor Benn was grinding, refining his skill set, growing stronger, faster, and more dangerous. Sims insists the Conor Benn stepping into the ring now is far...
Understand and get it. Now, I'm friends with Conor. I've known him a long time, just before he got into professional boxing. He's a lovely young man. He's a lovely kid. I'm not the greatest fan of Chris Eubank Jr., but I tell you what, I admire the control the boy has over things. I must admit, I mean, the boy's in such control when it comes to press conferences. He's playing it like he's the orchestra, and he's the guy at the front. He's playing them all.
More complete than the fighter we saw a year ago. But this isn't just about boxing. It's about pride, legacy, and 2 bloodlines set to collide. With their legendary fathers watching, the stakes couldn't be higher. When that bell rings, it's not just fists flying, it's years of rivalry, emotion, and generational tension about to erupt. Tony Bellew doesn't hold back. He throws fuel on the fire and lights it with purpose. Fully backing Conor Benn, Bellew praises him as a no-nonsense, battle-hardened warrior. He sees Benn as someone forged in the shadows long before the cameras ever caught a glimpse, a fighter who's earned every ounce of respect through grit, sacrifice, and relentless grind. But when Chris Eubank Jr.'s name comes up, Bellew's tone shifts dramatically. There's no...
Jr., I mean, he's stylish and he's skillful. And if that Liam Smith defeat, which worries me a bit for Chris, if that's sort of part of the past, that the rematch was emphatic for Eubank Jr., but it wasn't Liam's night, really, and he had an injury going into it. So that defeat that Eubank suffered worries me a bit, but he's fought in better company, and Conor Benn's got it all to prove. But if there's one guy that wants it more, it's Conor Benn. There's no doubt about it.
No admiration. Only blunt criticism. According to Bellew, Eubank Jr. isn't charismatic. He's calculated and cocky. He dismisses Eubank's bravado as pure performance, an ego-driven act for the spotlight rather than genuine focus on legacy. To Bellew, Eubank is a showman, obsessed with image and fanfare, not a true fighter cut from the same cloth as Benn. His admiration for Benn goes beyond the sport. It's personal, almost like watching a brother prepare for a war. This isn't just another match for Bellew, it's a battle between real respect and empty reputation. And Bellew's stance is clear. He's all in for Benn. No doubts, no hesitation. On the other side, Adam Smith shakes the boxing world with a brutally honest assessment of Chris Eubank Jr. While he acknowledges Eubank's talent, his natural flair, skill, and marketable persona, Smith doesn't shy away from calling out his biggest flaw, the haunting loss to Liam Smith. That defeat, he argues, cast a shadow over Eubank Jr. His entire career, raising questions about his resilience both mentally and physically. The rematch may have ended in redemption, but the first loss still lingers. Smith points to Conor Benn as the fighter with the hunger, the drive, and the momentum to seize this pivotal moment. He sees Benn as the more dangerous man right now, one who's laser-focused on making history. So who rises and who falls? Can Eubank Jr. shake off the past and reclaim his name, Or will Ben take this fight and cement himself as the superior force? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and get ready. This one's going to be explosive.